right, Wiley, it's 3, 2, 1. Have a great afternoon. We're in the start for the afternoon session, the last session of racing in the 2022 Solar Car Challenge. Up next is the Covenant Cougars. 20 seconds, Covenant.
All right,
Jason. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, Covenant. Monday review starts at 2:05, so we've got a little time. How are you doing? Huh? Fuzzy getting? Are you fuzzy getting? Okay, that's good.
Killing me, girl.
15 seconds. Solar Falcons, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck and have a last racing day and great success today. Up next from Kent School in Connecticut, the Holy Solars. Driver, how are you doing in there? You okay? All right. A blast of hot air, I don't know. You are at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great afternoon, Holy Solars. Next up, Heroes Alliance from Detroit, Michigan. Drivers, how are you feeling? Good, okay. $30 seconds. This is the last time I get to hear you yell your support. I'm standing back and holding my ear. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck. Heroes from Detroit. Superman, Lungs of Iron. Driver, how are you feeling? Good. Next up is a new team from Brazos Sport, the Pirate Ingenuity team. Seconds. All right, Pirates, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, Pirate Ingenuity. Coming up next, from Round Rock, Texas, Stony Point Racing. Driver, how are you feeling? Stony Point is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, Stony Point Racing. 1. Good luck, Presidio. Have a great afternoon. Judge, you doing okay over there? Next up, from Keller, we have the K-Cal Solar Car Team. How are you doing, driver? Didn't you have more body on the car before? I understand. Good thing you do. You've got about 15 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Good luck, Keller. Next up are the Solar Jumpers. They launch at 2:15. Is the penguin over there okay? Is the penguin okay in that outfit, black outfit? Okay. You take care of him, though. Driver, will you do anything? Solar Jumpers, it is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck. Next up is the Wind Solar Car Teams in Dallas. Driver, how are you doing? I understand. How your battery's doing? I like your attitude. Okay, Winston, it is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, Winston.
How are you? Here we go. All right. So here we have in the control room Austin, a former racer. As a matter of fact, he was in high school last year and previous years on a team, and is now an intern volunteering his time. So tell us about what's happening these last 2 hours of the race.
Oh boy. Okay, today is a special day. Today is the very last 2 hours of the race. This is a complete scramble. You're trying to put your foot down as fast as possible. Now, this does come with a little bit of safety concerns because drivers will be driving aggressively. By the end of the day, your batteries are going to be shot. And with the heat index right now, we need to check on our drivers all the time. So we have the judges, as one of our jobs as the judge is to check on the drivers as much as possible. And some teams, they check on their drivers all the time because when you're checking your voltage for your cars, some teams will just do it over the radio. They'll say, hey driver, what's the voltage? How fast can we run the thing? We have 2 hours left, put your foot down. And other people have a computer setup where they can actually have the computer talk to the car. So they'll have the person in the pits making the decision, or the driver if they're radioing in. I'm really looking forward to it. If you guys are just tuning in now, you are in for a treat. This is by far the most exciting part of the race, and I'm excited that y'all are here. And we've had a great day, and I'm hoping that everyone stays safe.
Well, nice. Let's hope so too. We all know that high schoolers' insurance rates are already way high. Let's hope they don't make them even higher.
Exactly.
Now, you're an intern this year, and the Solar Car Challenge does have an intern program. Can you briefly describe the intern program
Yes,
and how other racers can be involved?
Yeah, so the intern program is honestly amazing. Anyone can be an intern, but I do recommend, if you are an intern, that you be on a Solar Car team before. So I raced for 4 years at my high school, and I looked on the website and I saw that they had an internship program. I'm like, I would love to do that. Just as a heads up for the interns, make sure you bring water, stay hydrated, and Dr. Marks is an amazing guy, and you will love working for him. We will take literally we will love you if you get here, as long as you have a good personality and you're you Solar Car and you want to make a difference in people's lives. It's a very satisfying event. We are volunteers. We're not paid to do this. I chose to come back here and to support the program because it did so much in my life that I feel as though I need to give back, and this is just a great program to do this. If I could do this for a full-time job, I would 100% do this. So if you are thinking about it, just give Dr. Marks an email. It's on his website, and we would love to see you next year.
Great. Well, thank you, Austin. And now let's return trackside and watch these cars tear up this track. All right. Back in the control room here, we are going to Mackenzie with the Raisbeck Aviation High School team. They are the current leaders of the race in the advanced division. So, Mackenzie, take it away.
Thank you so much, Stuart. And you're totally right. These are some leaders out here on the track, but not just in miles, but also as students who've been really just incredible throughout this entire experience, both in scrutineering, going through really fast, and then also just being a huge support to a lot of teams. So I'm really excited to have you guys introduce yourselves real quick for everybody on the live stream. So say your name, how long you've been on the team, and what your role is as a part of your team.
I'm Opal Heltzel. I've been on the team for just 1 year, and I mostly work on the solar array and just kind of around doing whatever I can do.
I'm Lucian Freemester. I've been on the team 3 years now, and I'm kind of just a general team lead. I kind of help out with everything, work on whatever's needed, and then just take up new projects, get people started.
Awesome. So one thing I've been talking with a lot of teams about, because last time we had a formal scheduled interview was day 2, and a lot has happened over that time frame, particularly for your team. In terms of mileage and such. So would you be willing to just kind of give me an overview of how your race has been so far now that we're getting close to the end, and where you're at, team?
It's been really well, really good. We passed 1,000 miles yesterday, so that was a really cool milestone. Yeah, that was really cool. And despite some minor problems, like we had a lot of tires the first day, and just general issues, our horns and stuff. We've been able to get through them and just keep racing, which has been great.
Awesome. Is there anything you want to add on how the race experience has been so far?
Sure, yeah. I'd just like to say our strategy team's been doing fantastic. They've been really nailing it every day, and that's why we're able to keep cranking out those miles, getting them in. Every day we've been able to charge almost up to 100%, which is thick, and it's been going really well.
Awesome. So I know you mentioned strategy team, and I think we've talked to Raisback a couple times about strategy, but I'd love, in case anybody's tuning in new to this, to talk a little bit about strategy, especially as a car going so fast. There's a lot you kind of have to take in when you're out there on the track, and a lot your team has to support you with. So will you walk us through kind of what that looks like when you are driving and how your team communicates it?
So we have a guy up in the condo over there, Timothy. He's our strategy lead, and he has basically a database with all of our numbers that we're getting and data we're collecting from the car. So that's our voltage, our battery voltage, how many watts we're getting from the cells, how many watts we're expending, and like 20 or so other data points or more. And he looks at all that, and he just decides on an optimal speed that like will basically get us the most miles over the course of the entire race, so that we can conserve energy, but also not conserve too much energy, so that we're not fulfilling our maximum potential.
And do you feel like, as a strategy, you guys have developed that over time, or is this something that you guys just really quickly, really easily got to?
It's definitely not really easy to get to. I mean, he's the last year working on it. We've done a lot of testing to get those numbers, calculate like power versus speed graphs, for instance, so he knows, if we're going this fast, how much power we'll be expending likely. And then he's also done a lot of research into solar and determining how much solar we're going to be getting in the afternoon charging, if there's going to be clouds, if there's not going to be clouds, how that's going to affect us.
Speaking of clouds, we had some cloud coverage this morning, and from what I heard, close to around noon. How has that affected or impacted how you guys have raced today?
Sure. It's definitely slowed us down a bit, but we're also just trying to take the last day a bit slower. We're trying to get everyone, again, a chance to drive again, so that's been just slowing us down a bit. We've been doing driver changes every 30 to 50 minutes, which has been really good. Everybody gets a chance to drive, but also the clouds just slowed us down quite a bit in the morning, but I think the sun's back out now, so we've been able to speed up, which has been really nice.
Awesome. You mentioned this your first time out here on the track, which I think is always kind of an interesting experience. Would you be willing to tell me a little bit about what it means for you to be here at Texas Motor Speedway for the first time?
I mean, it's just a really cool experience to have. I don't think a lot of kids can say that driven on the Texas Motor Speedway. Whether it's at 15 miles an hour or 50. It's been really cool. It's a really great learning experience, and meeting other teams, learning about their cars, sharing information and stuff. And it's just really awesome.
That's great. And we talked a little bit about this before the interview, but y'all are from Seattle, from Washington, which is quite a bit north of here, which makes some things a little different when you guys come down. I know we've talked about how hot it is with literally everyone on this live stream. But in particular, is there any unique ways that the heat has impacted your car or your team in ways maybe that you weren't expecting at this point?
I mean, I'm not sure. We weren't completely expecting it. We knew it was going to be hot down here for sure, but some of the we used some hot glue in some areas, and then we 3D printed a lot of parts, and a lot of those have been melting or deforming just because of the heat, and the hot glue's melting as well. And so we'd have to predict that. And then the tire blowouts, we had 2 of those the first day, and one of those was for sure caused by the heat. And so it's definitely been a challenge to adapt to that.
Yeah, and as a team, has it been a challenge to adapt to it, or do you guys feel like you came in ready for the 111?
I'm not sure. I think some of us are probably more prepared than others for the heat and just existing in 110 degrees as opposed to 70-ish. But I think we've handled it pretty well.
Awesome. And speaking of handling it pretty well, I feel like your team this year and last year both have shown really, really great just kind of intent with how you've driven your car and how you've gone out on the track. So one question I had, especially, I love asking your team this as well as all the teams, but if there were other teams out there that were either struggling or maybe creating a team, working on a team, what would be some advice that you would share as hey, here's what we learned over the course of being at a race that we wish we would have known coming in?
Oh my God, dude, there is so much we have learned, and I think it'd be hard to share it all with them. But I think it doesn't really matter like what car you're going to come with. Just like try and get a car down, pass scrutineering, and get that first lap down. And that's what really matters. One lap is incredible just to make the journey. And then, just know that all the other teams are there to support you. It's not really a competition at all. Everyone's there to come together to help you if you have any trouble.
Any piece of advice you thought of?
Like about, I don't know.
Yeah, anything other teams would maybe, be useful to know coming in.
I don't know. Just know that like everyone here is really supportive and will help you. And if you like need help, ask for it. And then, just get out there and race, I guess.
I like that. Get out there and race, guys. So if you're thinking about it, would you consider suggesting this or encouraging students who maybe were interested in STEM or engineering or math or science or anything like that? Do you think this is a good program for someone who's interested in that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great program. I would recommend this over almost anything else. I think it's really fantastic. You learn a lot. I think there's really no other better program.
What about you? Would you suggest it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a different type of learning. You get like tons of hands-on experience, and it's not just like science and tech engineering things that you learn, but you also learn like just regular mechanical things that anyone should know, like how to change tires and stuff. Like ours is basically a bike tire. But also it's a great experience, and you get tons of learning in ways that you wouldn't even know or feel.
I completely agree with you guys, and I'm glad you feel that way, because obviously the Solar Car Challenge was created to students an opportunity to get that hands-on learning and try something new. I was talking with a couple different teams about how hard it is to describe the Solar Car Challenge and what it feels like to be here to someone who's never experienced it. So if I was to ask you to try and describe or use a few words to describe what it feels like to be here and what the race means, what would you say?
I think, it's all about the team. A lot of what you're doing here is just teamwork and, building the car. You can't build an entire car yourself. You have to have the team there to support you. And then I think, just like it's a year's worth of effort or more. Some people have been working on these cars for 2, 3, 4 years. And so I think all that coming together in this one moment is really special.
It's very hot. But also just being able to see the work that everyone's put in and how much everyone cares about it. It's great to be around similarly passionate people and just see what everyone's built.
I won't steal too much more of your time, but I do have a few more questions if you're willing. So I've talked to a couple of different students about how being a part of this program has impacted what they're interested in or what they might want to do kind of post-graduating high school. And I was curious if you guys wanted to share if being a part of your team has maybe impacted you at all, or if it's been a growth point for you.
I've always kind of been interested in green energy, and I think that's kind of why I joined the team in the first place. But it really got me more motivated to pursue an engineering career in the future, and that's been really helpful, seeing what engineering can do, learning more about it, and getting some experience with it. And so I think I'll continue with that.
There's just so much. I did a lot of work on the solar array, which, I was already interested in like alternative energy and stuff. Especially being able to see some facilities that we got to use at the UW to do it, the University of Washington, to make our panels was just really amazing to see. And like we were there at the same time as people that were working, and it was just an amazing opportunity.
Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about that. I know sometimes it can be, we're tunnel visioned on the race, right? And we're here and we're ready to get wrapped up. And speaking of which, we're getting closer and closer to the end. I've been joking with teams that we can almost taste the finish line and we can almost feel the air conditioning that we've been hoping for all week long. So tell me, what are you guys hoping for the end of this race? Are you guys going to run it any differently than you have been? Is there any goals that you guys have, or kind of what can we expect from Race Back these last 2 hours?
I think we've completed most of our goals. We just want to bring it home at this point, keep the car in one piece for sure. And I think, our strategy's been working out so we can continue with the same speed all afternoon. But we completed most of our goals yesterday by breaking 2019 was the track record that we set previously. And so we broke that yesterday. And so I think that was really great. And the whole team was really excited for that.
Is there anything you want to add on kind of what you guys are excited for the end of this race?
I think you summed it up really well. Yeah.
Awesome. but we're still excited for the air conditioning, right?
Oh yeah, of course,
Absolutely.
of course.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
All right, good stuff. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you taking some time out of your very busy race day to come hang out with some of us on the live stream. We've really enjoyed cheering you guys on and seeing you continue, and I know we will continue to enjoy cheering you on. So thank you so much, Razorback. Good luck for the rest of the afternoon. Thank you to everyone who's watching and supporting them, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Great. Thank you very much, Raceback Aviation and McKinsey, for bringing that to us. Now we're going to go watch the cars as they tear up the track and have an interview next with the Heroes Alliance at 3 o'clock in about 15 minutes. We'll see you then.
Science Vehicle Technology Team and their vehicle, the Blur. This has been exciting, but none of this happens without our sponsors. So we are so very thankful to our sponsors that have believed in what we are doing and supported the organization and specifically this competition. And again, it doesn't happen without sponsors. To the friends of Durham and on my Facebook page that have helped out. This has been an amazing year, and it only happens not only with the students and parents support and volunteers, but also the funding that comes with it. So I just want to say thank you. So we are in the final stretch of the afternoon and the final stretch of the race as well. And this is going to be exciting because we're trying to beat some personal best as well as come home with the end of the day's trophy for the most laps for the day. And it's a close one. We have a few laps lead, but we're not comfortable. We're not resting on our morals. And the students are yet out there hustling, getting it done until the last lap is counted. So stick around, hang with us, because this is going to be a very exciting finish. And we'll see you on the other side of the track.
Technician swap?
Yes.
here coming in for their second to last pit stop of the day. Battery's been changed, driver has been refreshed. They're watching out in this heat. It is well over 100 degrees right now, and so drivers have to, switch out every 2 hours at maximum. And I think they'll probably be doing more than that. They've got a bottle of cold water in there, and they're about to scream their way out because the man with the iron lungs is about to let them hear it. Gets better every time. Back to you in the studio. Maybe we can talk to them about how they're feeling about today.
Let's actually follow up on Tomek and see if we're able to catch up with the Heroes Alliance team.
Division, we saw Heroes Alliance.
These are things that we can move faster than they think.
Nice. Is this the second to last one?
Yeah, this is our last pit stop.
Okay, almost there. You excited to finally pack everything up and go?
A little bit. I'm a little tired of the heat, honestly.
No, I think they all are. Yeah, you guys have been pretty consistent. You happy with your performance?
Yeah, I think I'm happy with our performance compared to last year, especially.
Anything you'd change in particular?
Probably just work a little more on our speed with our switching of drivers and so on, because there's still a few kinks, but honestly, it's real fast right now.
All right, appreciate you talking to us. Right. Have a good one.
You too.
Stay hydrated.
You too.
All right, that's all for now.
Great. Thank you, Tomek, with Heroes Alliance and that battery change. And coming up in 5 minutes, we actually have an interview with Heroes Alliance with our very own Mackenzie. Until then, let's go back to trackside.
We start to see teams.
All right, now we have a battery change from one of the electric solar divisions. Let's cut to Tomek, and Tomek, you are live.
Okay, so we're here with what I think will be the second to last stop for the Kentucky Solar Jumpers. We'll ask them when they're done. And you see they're about to pull it in here, take out the old battery, out with the old, in with the new, and away they go. That quick release is really something convenient, isn't it? One clip, out she slides, and comes with a new one, at the perfect height, of course. Ooh, a little bit off on that one, but not enough to cause any major problems. We're just checking everything's connected. Click goes the wiring, click goes the door, and away goes the car. The driver still has water in their bottle, they don't need a refill. They haven't been in there for 2 hours yet, so despite the heat, they're still okay. And off they pop. At this point, everyone's a little tired, and I think it's a testament to how committed these teams are that they're still able to crank out pit stops like this efficiently. It's like looking at the end of the 24 hours of Le Mans, where it's like they just want to get to the end, and they're all exhausted, just about melting. But look, they're going to take the battery over here, where they can plug it into the solar array. They've got a lovely little cooling hose over there, just to make sure it doesn't overheat, because obviously the hotter a battery gets, the less quickly it charges. They want to make sure they can get as much of full charge as they can. Most of the cloud cover is gone, so I don't think they're particularly about that. And yeah, I mean, things aren't particularly enough to warrant a nail-biting finish. But consistency, the consistency they've shown up until this point, it would be a shame to waste. And so they're still focusing on making sure that everything is, up to scratch. Battery's going to get plugged in, just like that. And in goes the cooling hose. Is that just a fan on the end of that?
It's to get rid of the hydrogen gas that's released from the lead-acid batteries, so that way if a spark goes in there, it doesn't blow up.
That wouldn't be ideal, would it? Great. Well, you learn something new every day. You guys seem pretty practiced at that. You got one more to do?
Probably might have another one after that.
Okay. No worries about cloud cover anymore. It's all going to be charging good.
Yep.
Okay. And pace out there is just about what you'd expect.
Yep.
Okay. They're men with a mission. Back to you, Stuart.
Excellent. Thank you for bringing us that battery swap. Those are always pretty amazing how those teams are just a well-oiled machine by now.
Yes. So anything under a minute is very impressive. We had teams when EV first started, even getting a battery swap in 5 minutes was impressive. And what the team has done today is they've been able to do a 28-second battery swap. So It is very impressive how far they've come in the past couple of years.
Wow. All right, so we are now going back to trackside, but in just a minute, as soon as they're ready, we'll be interviewing Heroes Alliance, who I think they're a electric solar team, right?
Yes.
All right, so they have a very fast switch time for their batteries. So here we go, back trackside, and then to Heroes Alliance. All right, now in the garages, we have Mackenzie Becker, our correspondent with the Heroes Alliance team, to talk about their electric solar division car. Remember, just a few minutes ago, we witnessed them do a very quick battery change. So, over to you, Mackenzie.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Stuart, and thanks so much to Heroes Alliance for coming over to hang out with me. You're very right. We did see a very quick battery change, so this race is coming to an end, but that's not slowing down Heroes Alliance one bit. First off, before we get into it, will you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves one more time for the camera so that everyone back at home can cheer you on and know who you are. So first name, last name, as well as how long you've been on the team and what your role is on the team currently.
I'm Aisha Booker. I've been on the team for about 3 years, and I'm currently a technician on the vehicle.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Rashard Banks Dancy. I've been on the team for also about 3 years, and I'm currently mainly a driver for the vehicle.
Awesome. Okay, so first things first, let's talk battery exchange because we just watched you guys do one. So first off, for anybody who might be tuning in live right now and not as familiar, the EV cars are a little different than some of the other divisions. So first let's talk about the difference briefly and then we'll go into your battery change, okay?
Well, the main difference is that we don't have our solar panels on our vehicle. We charge our solar panels in the lot, and then we use that to charge our batteries, and then we put it into our vehicle, and that's how we run power.
That's awesome. And I know I'll ask you this next. The EV cars are designed to be more futuristic, real-world type cars, and we'll give you challenges every day on the race to complete. Can you talk a little bit about today's challenge and if you've done it yet?
Well, today's challenge, basically, we had to drive to a sign that was basically the Texas Motor Speedway and take a picture, sort of treat like a sightseeing kind of thing, which was honestly kind of fun, by the way. We did do it, and we took a great picture with all of our team together, and honestly, it's great to see a good challenge like that because we have to use our own power of our vehicle. We can't push it. We have to do it ourselves, basically.
Awesome. I'm glad you guys got your big tourist snapshot down here at Texas Motor Speedway. So you'll be good to go when you head back to Detroit later after the race. So back on that battery swap, you guys have a pretty quick one. Will you walk me through kind of what your team does to decide when to battery swap and how you guys go through your battery swap?
Mainly we like radio to the solar array and the pit crew, and we talk to them about our voltage and speed while in the car, like the technician. We use that to decide whether we want to stay on the track or if we want to come in, and usually we try to keep a consistent time. We want to stay on the track for about the same amount of time throughout each battery swap, so as long as we can hit the amount of laps that we set for our goal, we'll come back on, we'll do a quick battery swap, maybe a driver technician swap, and then we'll come right back on track.
Awesome. So what goes through step by step how you guys swap your batteries?
Well, obviously, we start by designating certain roles to our team members. One member is responsible for unloading the battery that's in the vehicle, responsible for loading the new one. So obviously, once the vehicle rolls up, we have someone unload the battery, we have them roll up with the other car, load the battery in. We have wheels on the bottom of our battery box. This makes things a little bit easier for us to be able to move it back and forth. So once it's all loaded in and locked down, and then we pull the other cart away, we just hit the emergency stop, connect the thing, and that's basically all there is to it for it.
And you're good to go, right? Awesome. And going is exactly what you want to do. We've seen a couple of the battery swaps. We just covered one. Do you guys know how fast what your fastest battery swap has been? Does anybody know?
I believe we time our battery swaps based on the time of the lap that we took as well. I think our last one was about 3 minutes and something seconds.
Yes.
Yeah, altogether, the lap with the battery swap was about 3 minutes.
So that's pretty fast. For those of you that don't know, that's a mile and a half around the track, all the way down, around a cone, to the battery, exchange area, exchange the battery, and back up. So that's pretty great, and I think that's pretty talented. So tell me, do you guys practice your battery swaps before you get here? Is that a work in progress sometimes?
We practice a little bit, but mainly our practice was during like scrutineering and the race right now. So we just keep as we go, we get better.
Awesome. Okay, so you said you drive the car, right? Tell me, because I think this is such a fun thing, what's it like to drive a car that you helped build out on Texas Motor Speedway?
Well, you feel like a huge sense of accomplishment as you're driving because you feel like, hey, I put in the work. I've done everything that I need to do. Our team has worked together and solved so many problems together that we built this thing that can actually race on the Texas Motor Speedway, which honestly, not only is it sort of more of an accomplished feeling, it sometimes feels like a feeling of relief sometimes because you're like, okay, everything works. And you aren't just completely making things up as we went along.
That's good. And speaking of which, working, you guys have been working pretty well. You've had a really successful race this year. And it's, we're almost done. I think we've only got like an hour or so left within the race, and then we're good to go and ready to go back in the air conditioning finally. So tell me, how have you guys been excited about how the race has gone? Are you excited for this last kind of hour? What are you working towards at this point?
Honestly, we're working towards optimizing our speed. We want to get faster. We've already been really consistent, so we're kind of just testing to see how fast we can get with all the adjustments we've made to the vehicle.
Yeah, and good race so far?
Yeah, I would say it's honestly race so far, no issues from our vehicle whatsoever. However, as Aisha previously just stated, now we're just trying to test the limits, see what our vehicle can really do.
Awesome, and I'm excited to see you guys test those limits on the track as the cars are currently doing. So we've got a little bit more time left, which should be pretty exciting and hopefully really accomplishing for you guys. So I really appreciate you taking a little bit of time out here to help me out and chat with you guys so that everyone can enjoy those accomplishments with you. Before I let you get going, because I promised I'd let you get back pretty quick and I wouldn't steal you for too long, one thing I've been talking to a few teams about today that I really enjoyed is it's really hard to explain to a person what being at the Solar Car Challenge feels like until you're here. So if someone came up to you and was like, hey, what's this whole solar car thing you're involved in? What is this race? What does it feel like? What are some words or how would you describe kind of what it feels like to be here?
Definitely like family or friendly. It's definitely like a one-in-a-lifetime chance. Not many people get to race on the Texas Speedway, so it's definitely a one-in-a-lifetime kind of thing.
I would call it a collaboration, like a group of a bunch of different connections all coming together, whether that be connections through your teammates, connections through sponsors, connections through people where you can get parts from, like a biker's garage, for example, where we got our cylinder from. And so all these different people coming together, like helping you make this one project that you always want to do happen.
Super great. Thank you guys so much. Before I send it on off, is there any last thank yous or hellos you'd like to send into the live stream for those of you supporting Detroit and Michigan and your whole team at Heroes Alliance before we send it out for the rest of the evening?
I think we'd like to thank all of our sponsors, like Rashard said, the Biker's Garage, and everyone who helped us with the vehicle, our family and our friends, and everyone on the team who couldn't make it this year.
Yeah, we also want to thank Michigan Technological University for really helping us get our CAD done for our vehicle.
Thanks you guys so much. A lot of thank yous all around. And thank you all for supporting Heroes Alliance as we cheer them on around the track. I'll let them get back to what they're doing as they do it so well. But thank you guys so much. We've got one more interview scheduled before the end of the race, so I look forward to it. But thanks you guys. Bye-bye for now, and we'll send it back to you, Stuart.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, they were talking about sponsors. That's a really big part of the race is getting sponsors. So these high schools have to go to real companies, put on a suit, talk to a board, and actually like put in the work to ask for money. That's what I loved about this program, and it gives you so much real life experience that you're just really not going to find anywhere else. So I heard some cheering in here. They were really happy to call it the sponsors, and without the sponsors, it would be very difficult for this race to happen.
That's right. It's not just about engineering. It's also about marketing, and it's about fundraising, and it's about communications.
Exactly.
It's about business plans. It's about transportation.
Yeah. Everyone on the team doesn't have to be an engineer. Most of the time, you can have a team where most of them are actually marketing, and then they have 2 people that know the car. A lot of those teams do really well because they give those resources to the members on the team who know how to use them. So it's not just a one-person crew. It's a pretty big event.
Yeah, running a solar car team is pretty much like running a small company.
Exactly.
There are aspects of that company that have to do with every possible thing you could do in life. You name it. It is probably applicable to a solar car team, just like it would a small company.
Exactly. And yeah, if there's any parents watching, you'll have to be so proud of your kids. These are high schoolers, and they're doing things that many people will never able to do in their lifetime.
That's right.
And I know my parents were super proud of me after doing the race. So shout out to anyone who's watching, and definitely if you guys can keep your kids going and congratulate them, that would be great.
Alrighty. So let's go back track side, see what's happening over there.
take a look at your screens, lovely ladies and gentlemen. The Kentucky Solar Jumpers are just coming in for another regularly scheduled battery change. Now, we did just watch them do one. They can do, we spoke to them, about 6 laps on a single charge, which is a little bit less than most teams can do, but they are also going fairly fast, and so it's all balancing out in the end. Now, they are losing a little bit of time for that, but again, this is a work in progress. They're working on improving this car, and as a stepping stone along the way, 6 laps is not a bad place to be, especially given that some teams today have really only managed 2 before encountering some sort of issues. In any case, they get pushed off, the motor gets switched off, and off they go under manpower to go switch that battery that's been charging in the solar away for a while. We are encountering a little bit more cloud cover, some cirrus clouds up there, just kind of getting in the way. presenting a little bit of an obstacle for the Suns race to reach us, but it's not really enough to affect it, especially in this late stage of the race. All the teams have it down. They know what works and what doesn't, and just how much battery they have left, and how much they'll be able to charge up. Now here we go. Driver stops on the marks. Beautiful cone to mark where it is. Card comes out. Battery's unplugged. And just as we saw before, battery gets yelped out. Now, however, this time it's also a driver change. Very efficiently, the driver hops out, swaps places with the co-driver. Now, the most time-consuming thing here is probably going to be their seatbelts. It is a 5-point harness, which takes a while to buckle up if you're not familiar with it. Certainly took me a while when I drove earlier today. But they seem to know what they're doing, and in just about the same amount of time as they put that battery back in, they've also done up their seatbelts, which is really, really quite a feat. So hats off to them. Very efficient pit stop, very efficient driver change. I believe that means probably one more for them. And we'll see the lap counts at the end as to how well that's worked out for them as the battery gets plugged in for another quick recharge. Back to you.
Hey guys. Yeah, that team has, it's been a roller coaster of emotions for that team. They have switched both their motor and their motor controller in their car. So the controller is the device in the car that takes the batteries and turns the energy into usable parts for the motor. So your accelerator is going to be going through the controller and telling the motor how fast to go. And so this team was having problems with their controller, which is obviously a big deal. They have a fairly high gear ratio, so accelerating to speed is difficult. But once they're at that speed, they can go pretty well. It's just like a bicycle. When you're in a high gear, you have to crank really hard to get fast. But once you're going fast, you can do it pretty well. So at the beginning of the race, they were having problems, their motor cutting out as they were accelerating because they were pulling so much power. But luckily, a team actually gave them a new controller. That way they could still race. That was
generous.
Very generous, and that's the culture that we have here at the Solar Car Race. It's called the Solar Car Challenge, not the competition. And it's a different culture than you see in most places. Most things, winning is winning, and that's it. But it's different here, and I think
competitive and collaborative. Because everybody, you do want to win, but you also want to make sure the other teams cross the finish line.
Exactly. And one more thing to add is, even though they have been having problems with their controller, as you can see, their battery swap, they have it down to a science. They are very good at it, and that is not by accident. So, yeah, they're awesome.
There we see them getting ready to go back onto the track right there, and there they go out of the start gate. All right. So we are going to continue to watch the cars in the last 30 minutes of this race. That's right, there's only 30 minutes left till the end of the Solar Car Challenge 2022. And we are very quickly back here. Mackenzie has the Covenant Christian team ready over in the garages for interview. So go ahead and take it away, Mackenzie.
Hey, Thanks so much, Stuart. It's my turn to interview a team one last time for the race, and I couldn't be happier that it's the Covenant Christian Group, a really, really great team. Without further ado, I'll start with having you guys introduce yourselves for the camera again, and anybody who's watching the end of the race, that way they can get to know you. So say your name, how long you've been on the team, and what role you tend to play as a part of your team.
I'm Sebastian. It's my first year on the team. I'm a driver, and I've been watching telemetry this week.
I'm Lincoln Moffitt, and I've been on the team for, and I'm co-captain for the Advanced Classic team at the moment.
And if you remember, Covenant Christian traditionally has 2 cars, but this year they're currently racing just with their Advanced Classic car, which hasn't seemed to hinder them whatsoever because they're doing a great job in this year's race. And speaking of this year's race, now that we're almost at the end, would you guys please give me a recap as to how the race has been so far, how your car has done so far, how your team has done so far, just kind of set the stage for where we are at this point.
Yeah, so we've been doing pretty good in our Advanced Classic car. I think one of the highlights is that there haven't been many highlights. It's been going smoothly, and not much is broken. We had a strut come off, and we repaired that in like 15 minutes, and was back on the track.
So what about you?
Reliability. That is the main thing that has kept us in this race, and potentially winning, hopefully. But the other car, unfortunately, the motor blowing out was unfortunate. But being able to consolidate all our team members was probably my highlight, because being able to still race, as having an insurance, was really, really nice.
And race you guys have, we've seen you do fairly well in the Advanced Classic division up to this point, having a great battle back and forth with Wiley East, which has been an ongoing rivalry for you guys. Would you tell me a little bit about what it's like to have another team that you're competing with, and kind of what the atmosphere is in that way?
They're a great team. I love being able to come talk to them at the garages after the races and then go race them the next morning. It's interesting that we have different strategies to approaching the same division. You know, we're the big array, big battery car. They're the aerodynamic, efficient car. And it's interesting seeing how we use different strategies to compete in the same race and talking to like-minded people like them.
Awesome. Do you have anything you want to add on that relationship?
Yeah, there is no hate between teams at all. Like, several teams have come up to help us with our advanced car, not including Wiley. Just everyone coming together at the solar car race. It's not even a race almost. It's like a community just to even be able to get on the track.
Awesome. And you mentioned strategy, and I think that's a fun thing to talk with a lot of teams about. How have you been running this race, and what is kind of your motto as you get your car out on the track? You talked about consistency, and I think that's really important. But what other things as a team do you keep in mind in order to keep your car out there?
I would say consistency is the big thing, and making sure our drivers are ready to go on time, making sure everything's charged up and ready. We did a lot of a redundant horn. We've already had our first horn fail, so it's helped that we things like that. And I would just say reliability, yeah.
Having people like Sebastian on telemetry has been helpful, because last year we gathered about 23,000 data points that we are able to now have a target speed for deployment for our battery, and we do have radiance values for the sun, so that has also helped with our consistency, because now we can set a target speed based off production and usage.
Awesome. And now that the race is almost wrapped up, would you guys, both of you, say that you're proud of how your team has performed this year? Tell me about kind of looking back on it at this point, where your head's at.
I would say I'm very proud of how we performed, mostly because we looked at what we did last year and we improved on it. Because we took our telemetry data from last year, and as Langdon was talking about, we used it to make a regression curve and see how much speed we can get for how much power we're making.
Awesome.
We had multiple first-time members last year, and coming back again this year with everyone having some more experience under their belt has just made everything so much smoother. Setting up the shop, going throughout the race, and just being able to have being organized when something does happen.
Looking around at your garage bays, which are people starting to finally clean up, now they're getting close, but your garage bay always impresses me because there's just so much ready and prepared, and you guys have like the most tires I've ever seen a team bring to the table. Will you talk to me a little bit about why you guys do so much preparation for that?
I think, as we've said 1,000 times already, reliability. We want to make sure if anything fails that we're ready for it. And tires and stuff like that, consumables, we want to be able to make sure we have extra, just in case we do wear faster than we think we are. And it's just... do
you feel like that's come in handy in this race or previous races?
Yes, having many spares does help. We do go through about a set a day. They wear very, very fast. Just guess they're just so specific, solar car specific. So
awesome. And solar car specific can sometimes be a challenge, especially finding things. But it's good to see you guys are primed and ready with as many tire blowouts as you possibly could have at this point. I think you could go through higher every lap and still have more by the end of the race at this point. So tell me a little bit about, we've talked with some teams kind of on this idea of how unique the Solar Car Challenge is of an experience, and particularly how different it is and how hard it is to kind of describe to people what it feels like to be here. Like you said, it's unique for a competition. It's almost not a competition sometimes. So if you were describing it to somebody and I asked you what are a few words that you would use, what would you say if you were trying to describe the Solar Car Challenge?
I would say teamwork is the big word. But the crazy thing is that teamwork isn't just your team. It's all of us together trying to get all of our cars on the road. We've had so many great teams come and help us. We've loaned our horns to a few teams. So it's really just one big team that we split up and does the best with their technology.
I'd have to agree on the teamwork part. But, I mean, having hands-on experience is so important, or so enjoyable. Being able to design the car and then being able to work on something that you've created is, I think, something extremely rare. And then coming to a facility like this is just quite amazing.
Yeah, awesome. I also think it's pretty amazing. We're definitely in agreement on that one. And speaking of amazing, obviously your team's been doing really, really well. And it's been great to see Covenant Christian has been a team that's been around the Solar Car Challenge for quite a bit, a few years now. I've seen you guys coming back and doing better and better. So for teams that might be out there that are looking at joining the Solar Car Challenge or thinking about starting a team, is there any advice that you guys would give as you've gone through it and been pretty successful this year?
I would say do it, because there's different divisions. You can come in wherever you want. Classic division, or if you have the finances, advanced division is really cool. We do some cool things. And if you do decide to compete in advanced classic division, we'll save you a spot in second place.
Like Sebastian said, coming out and doing it is really the only way to explain it, just experience. But, I mean, the community is so great. No matter where you place, it's always just a great time.
Awesome. Thanks you guys so much. Like I said, I know that we're getting down to the wire and getting close to getting the cars off the track, so I won't keep you for too much longer. I just have one last thing for you guys. I just want to know, now that you've been through this experience and you're here on the car, whether it be your first year or multiple years in, do you feel like being a part of Solar Car has had an impact on who you are or any growth that you've seen as a person, especially looking at your future at this point?
It has, because I don't think I've ever been around so many like-minded people before, interested in the same things I am, and going through the same difficult things we are, working the 14-hour shift or 14 hours on our cars every day, things like that. Everybody understands, and I think it's really helped to get the hands-on experience with other people, and especially as I look towards colleges and things like that next year, I'll be more open towards STEM stuff. It's really fun.
Yeah, this has really inspired my passion for engineering. Really, I mean, I was looking at many professions. I mean, I'm going to my senior year, so I am looking at a lot of things. But this has really inspired me for mechanical engineering, and I mean, yeah, it's just reignited a passion, and being able to work with other like-minded people, like you said.
And thanks you guys so much. Like I said, I promised I'd get you back out there in the heat, unfortunately, but excited for that checkered flag that we've been waiting for days and days to see. So thank you so much, Covenant Christian. I really appreciate your time, and I know everyone on the live stream does too. So join me in celebrating them as they go around the track a few more times before the end of the day and say bye-bye for now. But I really appreciate it. So until next time, thanks you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mackenzie and Covenant Christian. That's right. We just have now 20 minutes till the checkered flag starts coming down for our various teams as they will come in for the end of the Solar Car race. And back to trackside. All right, and we just got word that Tomek is over with the solar jumpers, so let's go with them. You are live.
So I won't be doing any more narration over this because I feel like you've all seen this enough. The Kentucky Solar Jumpers have just come in for another pit stop and a battery change. But I'm sure you will be curious as to why. The reasoning is we're getting late in this race now, and realistically the finishing positions are somewhat set, especially for the Kentucky Solar Jumpers. So they decided, well, why the heck not just run this thing as quickly as it'll go? And frankly, I'm inclined to agree with them. So they went out just a few minutes ago and effectively just went top speed for about 2 laps, and then had to come in immediately because their battery was dead. Fair enough. If you've come all the way from Kentucky, you're gonna have some fun with it, and I think that's probably a good decision. You'll notice we talked to the Raceback team. They said they were planning on doing something similar and perhaps reaching a lap at 65 miles an hour. So we'll go catch up with them after to see if they're actually succeeding in that. I haven't been paying attention to the track cam, so you might know better than I do if they are. But the other interesting thing, if we keep following this car, something I just noticed as they were coming in. Most cars here are driven by a chain and a sprocket. If they're in this division, of course, the advanced division has hub motors that are actually mounted to the wheel axles. But if you'll notice, this car is belt driven. Why?
That's just what we ended up working out with. This mid-drive showed up to us, a QS motor. The price and the efficiency stuck out to us. And it's just what we went with.
Fair enough. And to be fair, you'll notice there are several teams up and down this paddock that have actually struggled a lot with chain and sprocket issues. Notably, Winston had a sprocket break. They had their chain fall off several times. And so it's very interesting to see teams experimenting with different, drivetrain orientations. As we see the Heroes Alliance team come in for what I believe will be their final pit stop of the day. And if you look here, it's just a chain-driven sprocket. Now, theirs hasn't had any issues, and I could debate the benefits, the pros and cons of chain versus belt drive to you. The cows come home. And at this point, to be honest, I think it's more of an issue of cost than it is of any kind of performance. Because I think chain drives are probably a little bit faster, but belt drives are probably a little bit easier to maintain and cheaper. Anyway, long story short, interesting stuff, and you're going to see another driver and battery change. And another scream, hopefully, if we follow them out that far.
Keep coming, and stop.
There we go, stopping on the marks. Out comes that wheel battery. So we squeeze out their way. Very smooth system they have. Thing just slides right in. Locked in place with a quick release. Hooked in place with a cable. GoPro mounted for some expert footage. They're measuring the temperature of the motor. They said that the actual connections of the motor begin to dismantle themselves at about 215, 220 degrees Fahrenheit. So they're trying to keep it below a hard limit of 200. It's currently at 201, and because it's the last run of the day, they don't mind it going a little bit above that as long as it's within the margin of error. And bear in mind, of course, this is the temperature as it just rolls into the pits, and not as it's moving around the track, being cooled by that air flowing around it. And yeah, there we go. We've seen quite a few of these battery changes. I'm getting a little bit emotional. This may be the last one we see, though probably not from the Kentucky Jumpers if their efficiency is anything to go by. It's been a pleasure narrating for you folks. Try and listen out for the scream of this car as it goes out there. And for now, back to you in the studio, Stuart.
All right. All right, everyone. We're now going to go to Tomek. Some of the cars have now pulled off and finished the race early. Let's switch to Tomek and Flores.
All right, so checkered flag has not quite been waved yet, but some teams have decided to end their race a little bit early. Oregon is one of those teams. Please tell us about how the day went and why you ended early.
So today was a great day for us. We were on the track all day long, minimal issues, and I'll just tell you, one of our drivers hit a new top speed.
Straight from turn 2 to turn 3, I hit 65 miles per hour, and it was still heavily accelerating. So it is still to be determined, but at least we know the ballpark.
So as a year...
As you see, our team just fucked up finish line again. This is the real home stretch. We're headed down to the wire. We just did the last battery swap for the day, and we got about another 10 minutes left to be on the track. This team has performed exemplary through this whole event, and it's getting real excited. We're down to the nail biting right now because we're trying to get those laps in. We're trying to push the car to get those laps. And looks like we should be doing a good thing here. We're going to be taking home the gold. Just keep your fingers crossed and stay with us. We've got a few more minutes left. Again, less than 10 minutes left in the race for us. And this will be the end of the 2022 Solar Challenge. And this is for all the marbles, everybody. So stay tuned.
And congratulations to the Oregon team for completing the Solar Car Challenge. Woohoo! All right, and back to trackside. And congratulations to Winston for completing the race. Go Winston!
There are 2 minutes remaining in the race day. 2 minutes remaining.
All right, and coming in first place is Raisbeck, coming in.
Okay, so to no one's surprise, after 4 days of racing and over probably 1,200 miles, more even, I haven't checked the final count, Raisbeck Aviation has brought their car in as the winners of this year's Solar Car Challenge 22 at Texas Motor Speedway. The team has been squealing. The horn, not broken today, has been honking, and I'm interested to see what kind of speeds they were able to hit when they were no longer worried about their battery percentage, because they are now done. Now you'll notice normally the car gets pushed here behind the pit lane fence, but the pit wall rather. But they don't have to do that because they have enough battery to drive it home, and they're not going to be doing any more racing today. I bet that'll be a relief for all of them. I know it wasn't exactly the nail-biting finish we had hoped for, and I dare say they weren't exactly worried about any reliability problems for their car. But they will, I'm sure, be glad to get out of this heat, have a celebratory dinner, and bring this car home to Raisbeck. Now, there is, we've been told, a secret celebration plan that I can't say to. There we go. Congratulations to Raisbeck Aviation and their coach. Gatorated there with a tub of ice water. I'm sure he will be happy. The team captain is coming out the car, and back to you for now, Stuart.
All right, we have Wiley East coming off. There is Wiley East. Let's hear it for Wiley.
The Beast.
Wiley East, the Beast of the East. Right, and back to antics over with Raisbeck.
They've just lifted the captain up on their shoulders. There we go. Hugs all around as Raisbeck celebrates a well-deserved win after 4 years of trying. Well, I guess they did win last year. The dedication, the speed, the passion, everything this team has shown has just been evident the whole race through. And not once has their leading position been doubted. No one else was really even close. And fair enough. Now, if we're going to look over there, the Wiley team is also coming in. They, I believe, have emerged victorious in the Advanced Classic division.
Thank you. All right, and now Iron Lions is coming in. Iron Lions gave quite a vigorous fight. They had some challenges, but their car is amazing, super fast. Congratulations to Iron Lions. I believe they will end up second place in the advanced division.
It's definitely what it's shaping up to be. A great, great, great team. And a really stunning car, might I add.
Covenant Christian, your
coming
time
off. We
has
talked with them earlier today.
expired.
Again,
Congratulations,
you have 1 minute
Palmdale.
left.
Palmdale's classic car.
Solar Falcons.
All right, and who do we have coming in here?
I believe that is the Solar Jumpers coming in with their two-seater electric car.
Oh, followed by another team.
Coming on down nice
Time and time
slow
again,
for
Razorback have proven that they're the
All right,
better team
and
when it comes to
Tomek. We are
that
now
endurance.
live with Tomek.
So we're seeing the Iron Lions team come in here. Perhaps a little bit less than they had hoped for. They had such great pace last year, and I think in terms of sort of polish of their vehicle, they seemed the favorite coming in. But they've just been outclassed at every turn here by Razorback in terms of speed. And no less of a deserved second place, however, because they've just been hitting issue after issue and pushed past every one of them. And yeah, I mean, we can talk a lot about who deserved the win and who did how well, but the truth is, every one of these cars was ran throughout this week, and despite the fact that they were all in the garage with some kind of issue at some point, every issue has been overcome. And each one of these teams deserves to celebrate a well done Solar Car Challenge 22. I'm sure they're going to go congratulate their rivals over there, and we'll let them do that as we cut back to the studio.
1 minute remaining.
All right, and what team is this right here?
This is Presidio High School, followed by the Solar Jumpers.
Excellent, excellent.
Congratulations, guys.
All right. And who do we have here,
We
Mackenzie?
have the Solar Falcons electric vehicle out of Palmdale, California. So that's both their cars now off the track. Congratulations to Palmdale and both of their teams.
Okay, guys.
Right now, but in a bit. I wonder how fast you got to
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I truly am so appreciative. I've been doing this race for 4 years. I had no idea that I'd be ending it. You're still in the club. I'm so glad that I am here today. I got to finish it out for the team. I remember exactly around 3 years ago, 2019, I started over there and we did the same thing, and I saw the driver get out at the very end of the race. I was like, I want to do that. And here I am 3 years later. It's truly amazing.
What speed did you hit there at the end? I know you're trying to
90 kilometers an hour.
90 kilometers an hour. 55 miles an hour sustained.
Yeah.
Hell of a machine. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Okay. Now let's go talk to the Iron Lions, who have also finished out a fantastic race here. Let me steal you two. Congratulations. A well-finished race. You guys had your reliability issues throughout the week, but nothing has stopped you, has it?
Yeah, we have our issues, but we never kept our head down or anything. We just pushed through it.
No, and I mean, you and Razorback, both of those cars, watching them out on track has just been so cool. They're great machines. What was it like to finish that?
It was exciting, especially because we did break a lot of personal records, team records. We ran more laps than our team has ever run before in a day, so I think I would call this a successful race.
And on to next year, right? You guys are going to keep developing this car, make it even faster?
Yeah, for sure. We're going to be making improvements, a lot of analysis, and we're going to come back better than we did this year.
Great. Well, you should be proud of yourselves. I know I don't have to tell you that, but really, heck of a race run from everyone, and good job.
Thank you.
Okay, let's try and steal somebody here. From Stony Point, who we haven't talked to yet, who are also back in the garage. They've just pulled their car in, or rather, it's been here for a little while with slight reliability issues, but they ran almost to the very end, and that in itself is very impressive. I think they're a little busy to talk to us now. For now, back to the studio.
That's right. Thank you, Tomek. Thank you. And let's see who's coming in here.
This is the Pirate Ingenuity team, first-year team. Huge congratulations for them pulling off the track to finish the race.
All right, Pirate Ingenuity.
Woo-hoo. And behind them, I see pulling up, we have the Covenant Christian Advanced Classic car, who's had an incredible race this year. So big congratulations for their checkered flag.
Nice. Listen to that crowd.
And behind them, I see the Fabulous Heroes Alliance team, definitely a hero in our hearts. They've been doing wonderful in their electric vehicle this year. Congratulations, you guys. And always the loudest team out there on the track.
Nice. Oh, and here's another one.
All right, that's the Holy Solars. We checked in with them earlier today. An incredible car in the Classic Division. Well-deserved, checkered flag for them. So congratulations to the Holy Solars from Connecticut.
Excellent.
Hear their wonderful horn?
Yeah, that's an amazing horn. I love it. Oh, and here we go.
And this looks like the KCAL team. A really hard-fought race today, but super proud of how they ran today, I'm sure. Congratulations to finishing off the race, KCAL. You really deserve this one.
Excellent. All right, and let's see if Tomek can find anybody, maybe some of these new teams that have just crossed the finish line or are coming towards. Oh, he's ready right there. All right. And Tomek, you are live.
Okay, so Winston had to come in a tad bit early with a battery voltage issue, but I'm not going to let that detract from the fact that you guys did 95 laps today. Is that right?
Yes.
And for a few days, they've been really riddled with mechanical issues. I think that's a pretty good milestone to hit, right? How you feeling?
Obviously I'm disappointed that we didn't have 100, but it's okay. It happens. And next year, either cross country or track, we're going to be a lot more prepared and knowledgeable on what we need to do.
I think so. You guys identified a lot of problems. What do you think is the number one sort of lesson that you learned from all the work you did on this car?
It doesn't hurt to be prepared at the challenge. Almost anything can break. It doesn't matter about how good you build it. There's always a chance, and so it's really important to be prepared for anything, including braking, brackets. The solar panel cells themselves could be. So that's definitely the main thing.
And can you speak a little bit to the camaraderie of this garage? I know you guys helped out the Ballard Bomber with their motor, and you yourself had a sprocket machine for you last minute. What was that like?
It was really nice that there was a sense of community, and that the fact that we all came together and to help each other. There's a lot of teams that helped us: the Bombers, the people from New York.
The Staten Island team actually, interestingly, didn't make scrutineering, but still stuck around, which I think is very magnanimous of them. They could have gone goofed off at the water park, but instead they stayed here at Texas Motor Speedway and were helping people fix their car.
Yeah, they were amazing. Some of them even volunteered to be drivers for us when we didn't have enough drivers, which was crucial to us keeping going.
Okay. Well, good job. Take this as a learning experience, and I think next year we'll see the Winston team a whole lot stronger than it is this year. Appreciate it. Now, I think we're just about to talk to every team in this garage. Presidio is packing up. Raisbeck, having had their moment of celebration, has wheeled that car into the shade, can finally take a rest as they bring it back home. And I think there's a kind of sense of relief over this garage now. It's been been a really grueling and harsh 4 days for these teams in intense heat, intense conditions, having to deal with intense pressure and challenges all the way through. Perhaps some more than others, but as I said, every team in this garage has hit their fair share of some kind of misfortune, where it even be Ray Beck's 2 flat tires within a single day, debris damage, or the complete sort of malfunction of Winston's rear end. But basically every car was running at the end, and if not at the end, they were all running within the last hour. And I think that's something to be impressed by. That's all from me for now. Thank you.
People to drive.
Oh, and here we are with the, sorry, here we go.
Oh, I apologize.
Plano Green team.
This is the Plano Green team. They're now coming off the track to finish the race. A really hard one, having to borrow a lot of drivers for other teams, so it's awesome to see them finally getting to celebrate that checkered flag.
Excellent, excellent. Look at them coming in there. All right. Congratulations to them. All right, now in the southern garage, we have Austin standing by. And as soon as